I want to be honest with you about something before this video even begins. Last night was not the night routine video we planned to film. It was not the organized, cozy, picture-perfect evening we had prepared for. Last night, our baby got sick. And what happened over the next several hours? The panic, the decisions, the moments of doubt, the things we did right, the things we wish we had done differently, is something I think every parent needs to see. Because nobody talks about this part. Everyone shows you the beautiful routines and the sleeping babies and the soft lighting. Nobody shows you what it actually looks like when your child is crying and burning up and you are standing in the kitchen at midnight, Googling symptoms with shaking hands. We are showing you that tonight, all of it. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you are new here, this channel is about real family life, not the highlight reel, not the curated version, the actual thing with all its beauty and all its chaos and everything in between. We are a family of four. We have been sharing our daily routines, our parenting journey, and the honest reality of raising small children in a world that makes parenting look easier than it actually is. Tonight's video was supposed to be our updated night routine. New schedule, new systems, some things we changed that have genuinely been working beautifully. And then our baby had other plans. So tonight you are getting something more valuable than a routine video. You are getting the real thing. Let's walk you through the entire evening, from the moment we noticed something was wrong to the moment we finally got some sleep. Here is our night, the unplanned version. It started like any other evening. I want to walk you through the early part of the night because it matters, because the signs were there before we fully recognized them, and I think that is important for other parents to hear. At around 5:30 in the evening, we started our usual wind down. Dinner was already prepared. We had done a simple pasta because Tuesdays are always hectic, and we have learned not to attempt anything complicated on a Tuesday. Our older one sat down at the table immediately, which is rare enough to be noteworthy. Our baby, who is 14 months old, was in the high chair and seemed a little quieter than usual. Not dramatically different. Just slightly less interested in the food than normal. We noticed it in a passing way and moved on. This is the thing about babies. They have quiet days, they have off days. Not every slightly subdued moment is a warning sign, and you would drive yourself completely mad trying to treat it like one. So we filed it away mentally and continued with dinner. After dinner, we did bath time. This is normally one of the most joyful parts of our evening. Our baby loves the bath, loves splashing, loves the toys, loves the whole production of it. Tonight, the bath was quieter. Again, not alarming, just different. A little less energy, a little more leaning against us rather than playing independently. My partner and I exchanged a look across the bathroom, the kind of look that parents develop over time. The one that does not need words, the one that says, "Are you seeing what I am seeing?" We were both seeing it. By 7 in the evening, it was clear that something was not right. We had finished bath time and were doing our usual pre-sleep feeding and cuddle, and when I picked up our baby, I felt it immediately. That unmistakable warmth that every parent knows and nobody wants to feel. Fever. I called my partner in and said, "Can you feel this?" They did. We grabbed the thermometer from the medicine cabinet. Digital, ear thermometer. We have learned from experience that speed matters when you are trying to take a temperature from a 14-month-old who has very strong opinions about objects near their ears. The reading came back at 38.9 degrees Celsius. For our American viewers, that is just over 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I want to be very clear here because I know parents watching this will be in different stages of experience. A fever at this level in a baby over 12 months old is something to take seriously and monitor carefully, but it is not automatically an emergency. The NHS guidelines, the CDC guidelines, and our own pediatrician have all been consistent on this. It is the combination of factors that matters: temperature plus behavior plus other symptoms. Our baby was warm, was fussy, was not eating, but was alert, was responding to us. Eyes were tracking normally. No rash, no difficulty breathing, no unusual crying patterns that suggested severe pain. We called our pediatric advice line, which I cannot recommend strongly enough if you have access to one. Within 10 minutes, we were speaking to a nurse who walked us through exactly what to look for and what to do. Her guidance was clear: administer age appropriate fever reducer, keep the baby comfortable and hydrated, monitor through the night, watch for specific warning signs that would indicate a need for emergency care, call back if anything changed. We had a plan, and having a plan when your baby is unwell and your anxiety is spiking is one of the most stabilizing things in the world. Giving medicine to a 14-month-old is its own category of parenting challenge, and I want to talk about this honestly because I know so many parents struggle with it. We use infant acetaminophen. We check the dosage against our baby's current weight, which our pediatrician advised us to recalculate every few months because babies grow quickly and the correct dose changes with their weight. If you do not know your baby's current weight, write this down. Your correct medicine dose is based on weight, not age. Always check with your pharmacist or pediatrician if you are uncertain. Administering the medicine itself involved our full combined parental creativity. The syringe method, the mixing with a small amount of milk method, the distraction method involving a favorite toy and a level of enthusiasm from both of us that would have looked unhinged to any outside observer. We got it in. Parents of strong-willed babies will understand the genuine sense of victory in that sentence. While we waited for the fever reducer to begin working, we kept our baby cool, but not cold. Light clothing, a comfortable room temperature. We did not bundle up. This is actually a common mistake when children have fevers. The instinct is to warm and comfort them with blankets, but maintaining a slightly cooler environment helps the body regulate temperature more effectively. We sat together on the floor of the nursery, all three of us, the baby in our laps, moving between us, not settled but not inconsolable, just uncomfortable and confused and wanting to be held. And we held. That is the job sometimes. Just hold and be present and let your child feel that they are completely safe even when they do not feel well. By around 9 the fever reducer had started to work and our baby's temperature had come down to 38.1. Not normal, but trending better. Behavior improving slightly. A little more interest in a sippy cup. A little less rigid in our arms. We made the decision to attempt sleep, for the baby and for ourselves in shifts. My partner took the first shift, settling into the rocking chair in the nursery while I went to lie down with the monitor and the phone beside me. We had set reminders to recheck temperature every 90 minutes through the night. This is something I want to talk about because I think it is important. When your baby is unwell, the night becomes a different kind of experience. The monitor that normally provides reassurance becomes a source of hypervigilance. Every sound is analyzed. Every shift in breathing is noted. The anxiety that comes with a sick child, especially a very young one who cannot tell you what hurts or how they feel, is genuinely exhausting in a way that is separate from the physical exhaustion of being awake. At 10:30, the temperature check came back at 38.4, slightly up from the previous check but still within the range our nurse had described as monitor and manage territory. Baby was sleeping restlessly, waking every 30 to 45 minutes, needing to be resettled but resettling. At midnight, my shift. Temperature 38.2, baby fussy but manageable. My partner went to rest. I sat in the dark nursery with our sick baby on my chest, and I thought about something that I think a lot of parents think about in the quiet, difficult hours of the night. I thought about how completely and totally you love this small person, how the discomfort of a sick child produces a physical response in you that is unlike anything else, how you would absorb every degree of their fever into yourself without a moment's hesitation if you could. You cannot. So you sit and you hold and you check the temperature and you wait. I need to tell you about 2 in the morning because this is the part of the night that I think is most important to share. At 2 a.m., I did the temperature check and the reading came back at 39.4. That is just over 103 Fahrenheit, higher than it had been all night, higher than the range the nurse had described as our monitoring zone. Our baby was crying differently, not the fussy, unsettled cry of discomfort that we had been managing all evening, a higher-pitched, more distressed cry. And when I tried to settle, less responsive than they had been. I woke my partner immediately, no hesitation. We took a second temperature reading to confirm, 39.3, consistent. We called the advice line again. The nurse on the line was calm, clear, and direct. She asked us a series of specific questions. Was the baby responsive to our voices and faces? Yes. Was there any rash or unusual skin discoloration? No. Was the baby's breathing comfortable and regular? Yes. Had the baby produced a wet diaper in the last several hours? We checked? Yes. Her guidance was to administer a second dose of fever reducer. The appropriate interval had passed since the first dose, and to monitor very closely for the next 30 minutes. If the temperature continued to rise, if the behavior changed further, or if any of the specific warning signs she described appeared, go directly to the emergency department. We followed her instructions exactly. 30 minutes later, 39.0, holding, baby slightly more settled, still distressed but less so. 45 minutes later, 38.7, coming down. The relief of watching a number move in the right direction on a thermometer screen at 3 o'clock in the morning is something I cannot fully describe. It is physical. It releases something in your chest that you did not realize you had been holding. By 5 o'clock in the morning, our baby's temperature was 37.8, almost normal, still slightly elevated but clearly trending the right direction. Baby sleeping more comfortably, breathing steady and easy. My partner and I sat together in the kitchen with cups of tea and the specific kind of exhausted relief that only parents of sick children fully understand. The crisis had passed, or at least this phase of it had passed, and we were still standing. At 8:30 in the morning, we called our pediatrician's office the moment they opened. We described the night, the temperatures, the behavior changes, the timeline. They asked us to come in. At the appointment, which our baby handled with considerably more energy than we had, the pediatrician examined everything thoroughly: ears, throat, chest, lymph nodes. The verdict was a viral infection, specifically an ear infection beginning in the right ear, common, treatable, not serious if caught and managed appropriately. She prescribed a course of antibiotics. She confirmed that everything we had done overnight was correct. She also said something that I want to share directly because I think it matters. She said, "You trusted your instincts. You monitored. You called when you needed guidance. You came in when it was appropriate. This is exactly what good parenting looks like in a situation like this. It does not always feel that way in the moment, but it is." I needed to hear that. Most parents in that situation need to hear that. I want to spend a few minutes on what this night taught us, or in some cases reminded us, because I think it is genuinely useful for every parent watching. Lesson 1. Know your numbers before you need them. Before your child gets sick, know your pediatric advice line number. Know the after-hours contact for your doctor. Know the location of your nearest pediatric urgent care. Know the weight-appropriate dosage for fever reducers for your child's current weight. These are not things you want to be researching at midnight when your baby is crying and your hands are shaking. Lesson 2. Fever is a symptom, not a disease. This sounds simple, but it genuinely changes how you respond. Fever is your child's immune system doing exactly what it is supposed to do. The fever itself is rarely the danger. It is what the fever is telling you that matters. A high fever in an otherwise alert, responsive, well-hydrated child is a different situation from even a moderate fever in a child who is lethargic, unresponsive, or showing other concerning signs. Lesson 3. Hydration matters enormously. Throughout the night, we offered fluids consistently, small amounts frequently, rather than large amounts at once. For a sick baby, maintaining hydration is one of the most important things you can do. Signs of dehydration, significantly decreased wet diapers, dry mouth, sunken eyes, are signs that should prompt an immediate call to your medical provider. Lesson 4. Trust your instincts and then verify them. Parents know their children. When something feels different, that feeling is data. It does not always mean emergency, but it always means pay attention. Trust the instinct that says something is off, and then call someone qualified to help you interpret what you are seeing. Lesson 5. Take care of each other. My partner and I switched off through the night. We communicated clearly about what we were seeing. We made decisions together. The mental and emotional load of a sick child is significant, and sharing it, genuinely sharing it rather than one person carrying it alone, makes both people more effective and more resilient. I still want to give you the night routine content we originally planned, because we promised it, and because it is genuinely useful, and because, ironically, having a strong routine is part of what made last night manageable. When our routine is intact on the normal nights, the healthy nights, this is what our evening looks like. At 5:30, we begin the wind down, screens off, lighting dimmed. The transition from the energy of the day to the quieter pace of the evening is deliberate and consistent. Children's nervous systems respond to environmental cues. When the environment consistently shifts in the same way at the same time, the body begins preparing for rest before bedtime even arrives. At 6 Ks, it is dinner. We keep this calm. Conversation is gentle. No high-energy games or activities after dinner. We made this mistake for a long time and wondered why bedtime was a battle. At 6:45, it is bath time. Warm water, lavender wash. The scent association is real and it works. By the time bath time is finished, our baby is visibly softer, calmer, and ready for the next stage. At 7:15, it is feeding, into pajamas, into the sleep sack, and the final cuddle in the dim nursery with white noise running. Our baby is typically asleep between 7:30 and 7:45. We protect this routine ferociously on normal nights because we have experienced both the version with the routine and the version without it. And the difference in how our baby settles, how long sleep lasts, and how our own evenings feel is dramatic. A consistent routine is not a luxury. For small children, it is a biological support system. Last night was hard. I will not pretend otherwise. It was the kind of night that tests you, not because anything went terribly wrong, but because the weight of responsibility for a small sick person is genuinely heavy, and the love that makes that weight heavy is also the thing that gives you the strength to carry it through a long, dark night until morning comes. Our baby is doing better today. The antibiotics are working. The fever is gone. The energy is returning, along with the strongly held opinions about breakfast and the enthusiasm for throwing objects that we have come to know and love. We are tired, we are relieved, and we are grateful for our pediatrician, for the advice line nurse who guided us through the night, for each other, and for every parent who has ever sat in a dark nursery at 2 in the morning doing exactly what we were doing. Just being there, just staying present, just loving their child through the hard hours until the temperature comes down and the morning arrives. If you are going through a hard parenting night right now, you are not alone. You are doing better than you think, and morning is coming. Thank you for watching. Share this with a parent who needs to feel less alone tonight, and leave a comment. What is the parenting moment that tested you most? We will see you in the next one.